School let out for us last week, and I'm like, oh my God. The kids got behind already with COVID. We did homeschooling, and they just, with everything that was going on with the pandemic and being away from classmates, there was so much that the children lost. And so I'm thinking summertime is a good time to catch up. Life is a little bit slower. Not all the running around that needs to take place. And so this is a wonderful opportunity for me to make sure any of the skills that my kids didn't pick up, I can make sure that they get them because they need them to move on to the next grade. And so I had to bring Katharine Campbell on because we're talking about this COVID learning crisis. And she's the director of Grove's Literary Partnerships, and she's got this local summer program that helps students who fall behind. Katharine, thank you so much for being on the Shift Real Estate Hotline with me today on the Shaletta Show.
Thanks for having me, Shaletta.
Okay, so tell me about this program because Minneapolis Public Schools reached out to you about helping their students. And, hopefully it's the beginning of a longer partnership because our kids, especially now with everything that's happened this past year, they need it.
You're absolutely right. We are so excited about this program because we know the impact it'll have on hundreds of students in the Twin Cities area. So this started out as an idea at one of our partner charter schools. And then you're right, Minneapolis Public Schools heard about this, reached out to us and asked us to partner with them at one of their locations. We're also partnering with Great Minnesota Schools so that this program is actually at one of the Minneapolis Public Schools summer school sites, but also in 6 of our partner charter schools in the Twin Cities.
Now, tell me about the program.
The program is really designed for intervention, and intervention means helping those students get back to where they should have been. You're right. COVID had a huge impact on a lot of these students. And so what we're trying to do in summer school is kind of close that COVID learning loss that happened over the school year, but also this is appropriate for any struggling reader. It's geared for kindergarten through 3rd graders. That's when children are supposed to be learning to read before they transition to that using their reading to learn. So it's designed for kindergarten through 3rd grade. It's small group instruction. Every teacher has 10 students, and those 10 students have been kind of pre-assessed. We did the assessments right at the end of the school year, and all of those students are grouped appropriately, so making sure that each group is working on the same foundational skills in reading. And in that, it's a 2-hour literacy block every day for 6 weeks. And in that 2-hour block, that group of 10 students also gets broken into smaller groups so that we can really target the skills that they need and the skills that maybe they missed out on this school year to get them ready for the fall.
We are talking here on the Shaletta Show with Katharine Campbell, Director of Grove's Literary Partnership. You work with more than 47 schools in the Twin Cities, and this is so important because, we're looking at the stats, and when you sent this over, I just couldn't believe it. 61% of students in Minnesota are not reading at grade level in the 4th grade?
That's right. We have, unfortunately, one of the largest achievement gaps in the country. And we have to close that gap. And the way we can do it is provide systematic and explicit instruction in reading based on the science of reading. So, when we teach concepts, we start at the beginning and teach everything that students know. We've written a curriculum called Grove's Method that we bring into our 47 partner schools. And students start in kindergarten and they go through this curriculum through 3rd grade. And the teachers that are teaching this have a coach in their classroom, a Grove's coach, 30 minutes a week. So every week they've got the same coach coming in, and the two of them are really teaming to turn that teacher into a master literacy instructor in the science of reading.
And, I think about my own children. and they have special needs, and all the gains that we made before COVID and everything they lost. And I think about my son, Brandon, who's going to fourth grade, who is probably right now, Katharine, now that you're talking about this, and it makes me so sad, at this point, he's probably reading on a first or second grade level.
That shouldn't be happening in our community. We measured and collected data through the school year this year during the pandemic, and we got some great results. We found that in our 47 partner schools, that 34% of our students that were in the highest risk category in the fall had moved out of that category by the spring, which is just making tremendous gains over the year. We're excited because next year we'll be in 66 partner schools.
And how are you getting into these schools, and how can folks find you? Because this is the thing. What you're doing is so needed, especially now. With everything that our kids have had to go through, to have that extra boost, to give our teachers the support. And that's the thing. We talk about what the kids have gone through during COVID. The teachers, oh my God, I have to sit in, Katharine, on my kids' sessions because they have autism in case the teacher says something or needs something and they don't understand it. And I look at everything the teachers are doing just to get the kids to put their face in the boxes and, trying to keep them engaged. And the teachers in the classroom are spending so much time trying to keep the masks on and make sure the kids are safe and they're social distancing properly. And so, just the support that you provide to the teachers who are on zero is crucial as well.
Oh, you're so right, Shaletta. The teachers are the unsung heroes of the pandemic. They have worked overtime to ensure that their students are learning as much as they possibly can, despite the fact that they're teaching virtually or not able to sit down with a small group at a table in the back of the room because nobody can be that close. Our teachers have gone above and beyond this year. It's impressive what what we've seen classroom teachers doing.
Now, talk to me about Grove's Literary Partnerships, because for some folks, this is the first time that they're hearing about you, Katharine.
Yes, Grove's Literary Partnerships is based out of Grove's Academy. And at Grove's Academy, we've been teaching children with language-based learning disabilities for almost 50 years. We've always been teaching based on the science of reading, so we follow the top reading researchers, and our instruction is based on what science tells us. 5 years ago, we decided that, gosh, if we could take this same type of instruction and take it into kindergarten through third grade classrooms so that everybody learns to read. All children are learning to read in the classroom, and then that data that I talked about earlier, we're collecting that data to then look and say, oops, somebody's starting to struggle. And we make sure that we're giving them some additional support throughout the day so that we don't let those reading gaps get any bigger and hopefully make those individual gaps get much smaller over the course of the year.
And talk to me about some of the results.
The results have been great, and I talked about the 34% that have moved out of the high-risk category. But 49% of our students that were at moderate risk, so they were reading somewhere between the 11th and 25th percentile, 49% of them are now reading in the average range. That's half of those struggling readers have been bumped into the average range and are no longer struggling. For us, that is such strong data during this pandemic school year.
I'm so glad that you are able to turn it around for these kids. What does it mean for these children to have you in the classroom, working with the teachers, implementing this program while they're struggling? Because, they won't know in 12th grade why they don't like school. You know what I mean? They won't know that. They don't remember that they couldn't read and keep up and they felt ashamed or embarrassed. I know now my own brother, he hated school. He graduated, but he hated it. And we traced it back to a first grade teacher who thought he was lazy, but in actuality, he needed glasses and couldn't see the board. And based on his treatment and his lack of being able to keep up and being retained in first grade, he never liked school after that. So talk about what this does for the confidence of these young kids.
Look, this really helps their confidence because truly the goal is by the end of third grade that all of the students are reading at grade level. We know that because of learning disabilities like dyslexia and other things like that, we won't have 100%, but we would like to have 80 to 90% of students reading at grade level by third grade. If they have those foundational skills, they can access textbooks, social studies, science experiments, math, reading problems. It allows them to not fall back in school. It allows them to have confidence throughout their school years, and it allows them to grow to reach their full potential as an adult and to be able to have the career that they want to have. They need these foundational skills, and they need to get them in kindergarten through third grade before they're asked to read really complex and more difficult text.
Katharine Campbell has been joining me, Director of Grove's Literacy Partnerships. How can folks find you? Where are you? How can they reach you? They've been hearing us talk, and they're saying, yeah, all of it, everything she said. Put that on period, but I need to get her.
I would love people to just go to our website, grovesacademy.org. And when you get to our website, on the left-hand side of the page, you'll see Grove's Literacy Partnerships. Just click on that, and you can get all the information you need, and my contact information is there as well.
Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it. It has been eye-opening for me to hear about these statistics, and I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing to help our young children read. Now, girl, look, I'm going to send you copies of my children's books because they are geared toward kids between K through 3. Cameron Goes to School, Daniel Finds His Voice, both bestsellers about my kids who have autism, but it also is representation, Black families, Black children on the cover. I want to gift that to you to share with the kids that you are teaching and you are educating so they can use my children's story as they're learning.
Thank you very much.
All right. God bless you. Thank you so much for being on the show today.